What if someone got brutally attacked by a Nerf gun?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Halloweek Day 2, and this is the Nerf gun accident, or Nerf fight accident. And I thought this would be a little bit different because, you know, you play games during Halloween, and I thought, what if someone got brutally attacked by a Nerf gun? So I came up with this look. Hope you guys liked it, and as always, please like and subscribe, and keep on watching. Hello everyone, so as per usual, I'm going to speed this up just so that this isn't a 45-minute tutorial, but I've already applied my foundation. Don't make it look too makeup-y because we want to look beat up. But I decided to do a swollen puffy eye, so I'm taking ALCONE 3rd degree, mixing equal parts of part A and B together. I chose this specifically just because I wanted to look skin-like versus liquid latex can sometimes look a little too textured for that. But I'm also mixing in my foundation. You do this afterwards, but I'm just going to tell you it's a lot easier if you mix your foundation in at this moment. But right now I'm putting this underneath my eye and I'm blending the edges out into my skin. They don't have to be perfect, but just make sure they're as blended as smooth as possible. But I'm just applying most of it in the center under eye. Now be careful doing this around your eye because if you get it in your eye, major problems can happen. So just make sure most of the volume is right underneath the bottom of your eye. Now you're going to add swollen puffiness right above the center of your eye and blend it into the other parts, just so that the eye can look very, very puffy. And if you're wondering, I'm looking at a reference picture right now. It's always great to look at a reference photo, but I actually had to change up the shape of this just because you don't want to take it too far down onto your eyelid, especially if you have hooded eyes like me, just because it gets in the fold and it's really uncomfortable and you still want your eye to move. And just like I said, don't try to get in your eye because then major things could happen. So now it's time to start coloring our black eye. Like I said, I'm using a reference picture, so don't mind here. But I put a little bit of liquid latex around the edge just to blend it out furthermore. And next you're going to take a purple eyeshadow. I tried this with a beauty blender, I tried this with a sponge, but this really I was having kind of a hard time. Make sure you do this when it gets dry. But yeah, I noticed that I was using shimmery colors by accident, so then I tried to use another shadow and it was still a little too shimmery. So then I went in with a matte purple. But normally how bruises work is it goes darkest in the middle and then lighter in discoloration and tone, if that makes sense. So we're putting a little bit of a mixture of purple and black in the socket or the whole eyelid, and we're going to blend it out into a matter purple. I'm then going to use the burn and injury wheel from KRYLON, and I'm going to be taking the red shade and start going around the edges of that. I find that using my finger is a lot easier than using a brush just because your finger works better with special effects versus brushes. Don't know why, it's just kind of the game sometimes. But I'm adding a dark red at first and then doing a lighter red and then blending it a little bit with my eyeshadow fluffy brush like I'm doing here, just so that it's not a ring of color. It's more like a blend and it looks more like you just got naturally beat up. So I'm going to extend this across the face and down the cheek a little bit just because, you know, it's kind of weird if you have one severe black eye like this and don't take it onto the other parts. Kind of looks a little unnatural just like because it's there. And then to make it look infected, we're going to then put a little bit of yellow around that bruise area. but I'm going to enforce a little bit more black onto the whole eyelid. And now I'm taking a lighter color shade and putting that on the highlight or the most round part of my eyeball, just so that it looks more natural. Like I said, I'm going to extend that bruise color all the way across my face because 1, it looks a little bit more natural, and 2, you're going to look a little bit more rugged and worn out and like you've just been beat up. Okay, so I don't know why this didn't come across this step into the footage, but I must have forgot to record, so that's my bad. But I did the same thing as I did in my mermaid tutorial. I layered multiple layers of liquid latex, then toilet paper, then liquid latex, then toilet paper. So same thing, if you want to look how I did that, just look back at the tutorial. I'll put it down in the down bar, or you'll see it at the end, or a link to it. But I'm going to start coloring in those wounds. I'm going to start with a dark red and then go to a light red. So you want to equally blend that out, and I'm repeating the step all over the wounds. And eventually I'm going to set this with a red eyeshadow, but make the edges of that wound a darker red shade so that it looks like it's receding in. All right, and the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Nerf bullets. I actually had to cut these in half just because they were just so long and it looked just disproportionately so incorrect. You want to make the Nerf bullets look like they're stuck in your skin. But if I did this, what I'm doing now, it actually did not work. So what I ended up actually doing is shoving that Nerf bullet in between the skin and those layers of liquid latex, and that actually worked because it acted more like a pocket. But I'm actually attaching these with Pros-Aid. Just dunk the end of the Nerf into the Pros-Aid and then you're good to go. As I said, doing the method it just kept falling off. So like I said, I just ended up tucking in the Nerf bullets in between those layers of toilet paper and latex and the skin, and that worked like a charm. Next, I'm taking my beauty blender and some actual scab blood from Ben Nye, and I'm going to start stippling this very gently around the wound, like I said, because it will fall out. And you'll probably see me get frustrated here in a sec, but you want to do this very, very carefully. It doesn't have to be neat. You can make it as bloody as you would like. The bloody, the better, as I say. But I'm just stippling on that scab blood very gently, and then I'm taking a little bit of red base, and I'm going to go on the edges that are more skin tone. Like I said, we want this to look like a natural wound. We don't want it to look like fake blood on a fake wound. So I'm just taking that, and I'm also taking a mixture of fake blood as well. I'm using a light blood, not a dark blood, because I've said plenty of times before, light blood is more used when a wound is fresh versus dark blood will make it look aged. And I'm doing that same process where I put yellow around the wound to make it super infected looking. So I'm just taking some blood and just putting that at different points of my face. And now it's time for the fun part. I'm going to now put a lot of fake blood at the bottom of my nostril. I'm doing a lot here so it can start dripping down and make it look like a nosebleed. And I'm doing that at the corner of my mouth, and I'm also putting just a lot more where those wounds are, because like I said, I love gore, and I'm going to put as much gore on as I want. Alright guys, and that was it for this Nerf fight accident. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, tag me if you try it, and as always, stay beautiful and stay you. Bye guys!